Hey, what's up, you guys? Happy Friday! Oh my gosh, so excited that it's Friday. I'm sure you guys are excited that it's Friday too. Now, listen. So last time I did a video on like a snack hack, like an anytime energy snack hack, right? And it got like lots of awesome reviews and people were asking me tons of questions. And so I guess they went back and saw that I had some meal prep videos too, but wanted something a little bit more in depth. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do right now. I'm gonna walk you through the stages of meal prep. I'm gonna show you mine. I'm gonna tell you why you should do it, how to make it work for you, and then tell you what my secret sauce is, because hint, meal prep is my secret weapon. Like, how did I lose 60 pounds and keep it off for 4 years? Is because I was strategic in how I made my meals, and I was really careful about what I put in my body and what I ate. And the thing is too, and this is gonna get into a little bit of like why you should do it, people's number one excuse on why they don't eat healthy or they don't start a healthy routine is like they are just so busy, right? They don't have a lot of time. Well, meal prep is basically like a healthy time hack, right? Because you can just make the stuff. You can like put aside 2 hours. This actually only took me an hour, like not counting going to the grocery and stuff, but you can set aside like 2 hours, one night, one day, and make all your food for the week, okay? And then all you have to do, like when you get up and you're, like maybe you're busy at work or you're having like a super stressful week, all you gotta do is get up, go to the fridge, pull it out, and go, right? So at the end of this, I'm gonna teach you kind of like how to make that work for you. If you're not a fan of leftovers, we can fix that. But anyways, that's kind of why you should do it. Like if you fall into the trap of like being super busy and not being able to stick to a healthy routine, like meal prep is the secret sauce. Like all you gotta do, seriously, is reach in the fridge, grab it, maybe portion it out, whatever, warm it up, and you're good to go. Okay, and another thing, like you guys probably know this, but don't warm up your food in the Tupperware. When plastic gets heated and stuff like that, there's a bunch of weird shit that goes into the food. So just put it out on the plate, portion it out on the plate, and then warm it up. And it's actually really, really easy to like help with your meal planning. If you're on a weight loss routine, like you can portion everything out correctly, especially if, oh, sorry, that was loud, especially if you use this handy dandy thing, which is a food scale, and you measure everything out to make your meals, right? So that's kind of a why you should do it. Getting into how you do it, I'm literally gonna walk you step by step on how to do it and best practices. So are y'all ready? If you have any questions, just shoot them in the little thing and I'll answer it while I'm going. So how you do it. Number one, this seems pretty self-explanatory, but first you gotta like get the food, right? Like you gotta go to the grocery, you gotta buy the food. And so what's gonna help with that is you make out a list. And I would show you my list, except it's on my phone, which I'm using to record this right now. So you guys probably know what a grocery list looks like. You make a grocery list. You can be as, like specific on how much you need. If you've already planned out your meals for the week, then you know exactly how much to buy. Like I personally do not do that. I just go and I get my different macros and I just buy enough vegetables, fruits, fats, protein, carbs, stuff to cook with, and of course treats and snacks. I just buy those each time in bulk and then I use it to prep. I don't really like plan ahead for exactly how much I'm gonna need, but it always just kind of works out in my favor. Yeah, Jamie, food prepping right now. That's awesome. Let's do it together. I know it's like, it's the best thing ever. It's actually really calming. Okay, so step one is absolutely to plan it out, make your list. Step two is to go to the grocery and get it. Okay, so step three, sometimes people get kind of overwhelmed about like how to put everything together, like cooking things in batches. I literally just pour everything out into their separate containers, like split up by macro, and start cooking them. Now, the hack to do that is that in order to use your time wisely and efficiently is you gotta start cooking the stuff that takes the longest time. So in my case, that's gonna be like the grains, or that's gonna be like the potatoes. So I'll start cooking my grains, so like brown rice and quinoa first, and then I'll throw in the potatoes in the oven and stuff like that. And then at the end, I'll finish with making the stuff that doesn't take as long. So like the proteins, so the chicken and the vegetables and stuff like that, okay? So once you have all that ready to go, it's all portioned out. Sometimes too, people get like really anxious about the taste, I guess, or like how to kind of spice up the food. And they worry about like, okay, so the meal prep is going to be really complicated. Well, it doesn't need to be complicated. You don't need to go and get like the most complicated and difficult recipe to do this kind of stuff. So I'm going to show you exactly the stuff that I used to cook with and like why. So I don't cook with a lot of salt and pepper. I use more like superfood spices to make them taste a little bit better and also get that kick. Like there are some spices that are really great for you that are really superfoods, and that's what I used to cook with. And then I'll actually show you the meal prep that I made, what the food is, why, and I'm probably also going to do a little bit of a taste test because I've been sitting here staring at them for forever and they look delicious. So here's what I cook with, and here are some cooking hacks. All right, so number one, whoops, wrong thing. I cook everything with coconut oil. If it's gonna be in high heat, like in the oven or on the stove, I use coconut oil, unrefined coconut oil, and that's what I cook things in. Sometimes I'll use full-fat grass-fed butter for cooking my proteins, like chicken and stuff. It just gives it like a really great taste, but everything else, I use coconut oil to actually cook it in. And then people might be asking, well, what about like olive oil and stuff like that? Great question. So I have extra virgin olive oil here, and I do use this to cook with, but not like when the food is in high heat, like not on the stove top and not in the oven. Avocado oil is absolutely fine. You can use that too. Yeah, any of your like high fat oils, coconut oil and avocado oil is good to cook with. But the reason I don't use olive oil to actually cook with is because certain heats with olive oil, if it gets to a certain temperature, it becomes somewhat toxic. Now, that's kind of like a long-winded discussion, and there's differences between if it's in a glass bottle or if it's in a plastic bottle, whatever, but I'll use olive oil as a finisher. All right, so if the food's maybe like 30 seconds to being done on the stove or in the oven, I'll sprinkle a little bit of the olive oil on it just to finish it off. Or if it's getting ready to go on a plate or just getting ready to be put in its container, I'll finish it off with olive oil, but I don't actually cook with it, okay? So maybe that's a little bit of a hack for you guys, and I can talk about my a little bit more later, but those are the things I cook with. So what about spices? There are 4 main spices that I cook with and put on most things. Like I said, I don't use a lot of salt and pepper, and then I do have some like optional fun ones too. So the optional fun ones, really just like any spice that you want to put on things, right? Like if you like a certain like hot spice or like special Old Bay seasoning spice or something like that, like for sure use that. But these are the ones that I put on pretty much everything. If I'm going for a little bit of spice, I'll use cayenne pepper or chili powder. Hot stuff like this is actually pretty good for you. Kicks up the metabolism a little bit because it's spicy. Heats up that internal flame a little bit, and I'm a total weakling when it comes to spicy stuff, so I'm kind of trying to, build up an immunity, but I use those. What else do I use? Oregano. Oregano tastes awesome. It's a power spice. And then let's see, cumin. That's another great one. The stuff that like the curry flavor comes off, cumin, curcumin, and another good one is turmeric, and I don't have that. I forgot it at the store. So those are some good ones too. Cinnamon. Absolutely, cinnamon is such a power food, such a power spice. I put these on my sweet potatoes no matter what. No questions asked, always cinnamon. And also, yummy, yummy basil. Oh my gosh, I love basil. It goes on like everything. And I was watching a cooking show last night, go figure, and it was British, like the Great British, like holiday festive bake-off or something like that, and they called basil basil. He said, I'm gonna cook it with a little bit of basil, and I just thought that was really cute, so I might just start calling it basil, but I'm not British, obviously. Those are the spices that I used to cook with, okay? Now, we can actually get into the fun part, and I'm gonna show you guys exactly, so let me let you see the foods, yum yum yum, right here, and kind of talk a little bit about like why. All right, so as I said in the beginning, you can portion out your foods like by macro, proteins, fats, carbs, stuff like that, veggies. You can portion it out however you like, and we'll talk about that when we get to like making things work for you. But I'll show you what I have here because most of these things are super, 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 super easy to make, and they're really great for you. So I have my tub here. And make sure you guys have enough Tupperware before you get started. Tupperware is a huge thing. I feel like Tupperware, like, it multiplies. I swear it multiplies. You end up having like way more lids than you do bottoms, and you're just like, how'd this get here? Like, I think they just self-multiply, something like that. And they're asexual. But, all right, so in my veggies, I have broccoli, which is super self-explanatory. You guys can just make broccoli. That's really good. I also have, what do I have? Mini cabbages, also known as Brussels sprouts. And then stinky pea sticks, also known as asparagus. So the great green veggies have their own little container. Now we can get into like the grains portions, the carbs. I have 2 separate boxes or Tupperwares for my like grainy carbs. One, because this one's more like a superfood grain, medley. It's got barley, brown rice, amaranth, and then it's got some veggies in there too, and some beans. So like it's got some kidney beans, lima beans, sliced carrots, kale, and then sliced broccoli. So this is more like a superfood medley. The recipe for which I put up on my Instagram, so if you guys aren't following me there, you probably should, because I give you a lot of great recipes and a lot of great food hacks. So here's one bowl of like the superfood carbs and stuff. So I'm gonna try it, and it's good too. All right, and so this huge portion, this huge one right here, is gonna be just like the plain grains. This has all brown rice and then 3 different kinds of quinoa: white quinoa, brown quinoa, and black quinoa. And you know how like you guys cook, when you guys cook grains or like spaghetti, and you start off with what looks like a little bit, and then it ends up being like a crap load? That's exactly what this is. I just put the whole bag in, but it was a tiny little bag, and it ended up making this whole thing full of brown rice and quinoa. So I'm gonna have this for a while, okay? But this is just like your grains that you can prepare really easily. And we're gonna try it too. It's also delicious. Okay, moving on to a little bit more vegetables. Now these, I eat a lot of root vegetables, especially on days that are high carb. So I've got in here, I've got red potatoes, purple potatoes, carrots, sweet potatoes, which I eat a ton of, and you know, we'll talk about that. And I also have some parsnips in there. They're not white potatoes or parsnips. I had someone ask the other day, what's parsnip? I was like, well, it's basically like a fancy carrot. So there's carrots and fancy carrots in here. Sweet potatoes are a secret weapon. Whenever you meal prep, make sweet potatoes. Like, sweet potatoes are delicious. They're a great source of really healthy carbs. I eat a lot of sweet potatoes. I even have a sweet potato overflow Tupperware here because I made so many sweet potatoes. They go with everything. Cook them in cinnamon. Okay. And then the protein. Now, this is 3 different cuts of chicken. There's chicken breasts, there's chicken thighs, and there's chicken cutlets, all in here with different seasonings that we talked about earlier. You know, you can portion your protein out like that, and I don't just eat chicken. Like, I switch it up: chicken, turkey, not a whole lot of red meat, maybe once or twice a week, but I don't meal prep with red meat because it doesn't last that long. So I use chicken. So we've got chicken, veggies, carbs, and then fats. We talked about that with the olive oil, the coconut oil, and then the other stuff that you can prepare that goes along with this, like your fruits and your fats, that you don't have to like actually cook, but you can portion out. So you can do like nuts, seeds, avocados, and then fruits like blueberries and avocados. So those don't need to be prepared, but you can just have those ready to go with you. Your fruit, yeah, like your fruits, yeah, and nuts and stuff like that. So I usually switch things out. Now, that's a little bit of how you do it. Now, let's talk about how we're gonna make this work for you, right? Because the big thing is that if you spend a couple hours a week meal prepping and, you know, like you're super busy during the week and you pull it out and you're ready to, you know, eat that lunch, or in the morning you're just like, man, I don't feel like eating the same thing again. I don't want more leftovers. I don't feel like eating this exactly the same way, so you're gonna take it with you, but you end up going to Taco Bell anyways. Like, if you're gonna do this, you might as well eat it. So you need to figure out a way to make it work for you. And there are some people who really, really like structure. So what they're gonna do is they might cook them out like I have them here, and then every morning you take them and you make the exact same meal in a different Tupperware. So maybe you'll make all of your bulk foods, and then you'll put it together in the Tupperware, like your asparagus, your rice, and your chicken. And you have 5 Tupperwares of asparagus, rice, and chicken, and maybe a sweet potato, something like that, right? So they make the exact same thing for every day, and that takes out a lot of the anxiety, a lot of the guesswork. It's literally just a grab and go. Some people do not like eating the exact same thing every day, and that really turns them away from meal prepping because they think they'll have to eat the exact same thing every day. So even though they have all this food, this healthy food, they're ending up going to McDonald's anyways. So how can you switch that up to make it work for you? Well, you see how I have everything laid out here. All the different food groups are in their individual containers, but I didn't split them up into separate meals. So maybe in the morning then, if I want variety, I'll just pull out a different like bulk Tupperware and make the meal in the morning. It might be an extra 5 minutes, but you just redo things and you just like have different combination of things. So maybe, one day I'll do broccoli and sweet potatoes and chicken, and then the next day I'll do asparagus, the like superfood grain medley, and turkey or something like that. But you have everything ready to go, so you can just make the different meal in the morning and it doesn't have to be the exact same thing, right? So that's a little bit about how you can make it work for you, okay? So the last thing is, I get this question all the time, right? And it's like, oh my God, it's just so complicated. Like, I don't want to meal prep, but I'm always super busy and I need to lose weight and I need to be on a healthy routine. So you're kind of contradicting yourself there. You need to settle with one, you need to compromise, right? So the big thing about that is, and this is the key, this is my secret sauce. I bet y'all thought that my secret sauce was actually like a secret sauce, but this is the secret sauce to meal prep success, right? Is to not overcomplicate things. Do not overcomplicate things. You literally do not need to go hunt down the most difficult recipe, the most difficult bulk stew recipe or whatever that you can find out there, okay? And be like, okay, well, this says it's gonna take like 4 hours to do, this has a lot of ingredients, oh my gosh, this is gonna be crazy, I'm just not gonna meal prep, okay? You don't need to find the most complicated recipe. You can make it as simple as you possibly can. And here's a secret, food is just as good if you cook it in its exact form, okay? So chicken, you don't have to put it in a really complicated recipe for it to still work for you as a meal prep. Simplify things, okay? You don't have to make asparagus out of the most difficult asparagus recipe you could ever find. Just cook the asparagus, just cook the chicken, just cook the rice, have it all exactly in its normal form but cooked, and you're good to go. Make it as simple as you need, and this is gonna take you a really long way, guys. Like, this is gonna last me for forever. I might have spent 2 hours like going and buying it and making it, but that's 2 less hours every single day that I need to be cooking. I can just grab my meals and go. Measure them out if I want to, whatever, okay? So it's kind of my secret to success. It definitely was at the beginning. It helps you build discipline. It really helps you stick to that really healthy routine that you're trying to build, right? So meal prep, secret to success. This is what I have here. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm definitely gonna do some more like actual healthy recipe videos, but if you wanna simplify things, a simple meal prep goes a really long way, okay? Secret to success, right here. I don't know why I'm using my arm so much. I do that a lot. So anyways, if you have any questions, let me know. And I don't just do this for myself. You guys probably know I do this for other people. Like, if you want me to give you a grocery list, if you want me to help you do the macro thing, if you want me to help you with the cooking and finding time for when to meal prep, how to do it, how to make it like work for you a little bit more, I definitely do that. And then also, I'm sure you guys saw that my Academy program launched, the Weight Loss Success Academy program. It's really just for anyone who's struggling with sticking to a certain diet plan. And the biggest thing is, like, the best part about it is that you don't have to completely abandon your diet plan that you're doing right now. If it's not working for you, if there's a lot of diet plans that you've tried that aren't working for you, my Academy is gonna be a supplement to that. You guys learn how to become the person you need to be. You switch your mindset. You think like someone who doesn't struggle with diet plans and falling off and stuff like that. You learn that alongside of following your own diet plan and routine that you might already be working with. Like, you don't have to completely restart. This is just a supplement. It's the secret to success, okay? It's the key. It's helping you guys with the mindset part, telling y'all exactly what to do every single day to make your results last and to get the success that the diet plan you're already on promises, okay? So if you have any questions about that, let me know. I'll put the link in here. And you know, I'm just gonna eat now because I've been staring at this for the past 20 minutes and it's time to make, I haven't had lunch yet. I don't know what time it is, but now I'm gonna go eat what I made. So y'all have a good Friday and let me know what I can do to help.